back to another video. Today, something a bit different, as you can see. A bit bougie. We're here with Camp New York, who are going to be answering a load of questions about how to get hired and a few insider tips on camp. Okay, so in this magic hat, we've got a load of questions to answer.
Take the first pick. Okay, here we go. Can I choose where I want to work, or is it assigned?
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, if someone had somewhere in mind that, yeah, they really wanted to work, you probably could just send an email and be like, I've really got this place in mind, I really want to work here. But usually, you'll kind of just shop around almost, and camps might see your application and get in touch with you.
Yeah, so sometimes what will happen is that a particular applicant might say, actually, I really want to be at this particular camp or this particular state or this particular area. And sometimes we can definitely sort those things out, but of course, because we've got the experience of the camps, we know what may be better for that particular person. Yeah. One of the great things that we do is we have our Camp New York fairs in person. So for example, there's one in Manchester in October later this year. So it's a great opportunity for you to actually see the camps in person, get a good feel for them.
And then just chat to them.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, you're then so much more content knowing the place that you're going to is the right thing to do.
Makes sense. All right, moving on. What should I include in my application to stand out? Well, I was always told a video would make you stand out, but I don't think I ever actually put one.
It's just my opinion on this, right? I mean, but for me, there's so many different ways in which you can stand out. Yeah. But of course, everybody's different. The main thing is, from an application point of view, is you want to see your passion. We all know that everybody wants to go to America, wants to go to New York. We get that. That's a given, okay? But we don't want to see that in an application. We want to see the passion.
Camps care about kids. I know most people watching this probably care about just getting to America, getting to camp, like you say, but camp's main priority is what we're doing for kids, how we're gonna make their summer amazing.
It may well be that some of the people watching this video today, or some of the applicants, they may turn around and go, I don't know if you've got any experience with children or kids. Well, actually, you may have a sister, you may have a cousin, you may have somebody that you've actually worked with by default or helped do something with them. So anything that you feel as though is going to be of interest to us and a summer camp director, put it down there. How long is the typical hiring process, and how long does it take to get hired? It sounds like such a cop-out, I don't mean to be, but every application is different.
It is.
Every single year, each camp has different positions available, because sometimes people might return to camp doing that same position. And I can honestly say, in my experience in the summer camp world, some of the best applicants that I know, they actually didn't get placed till really, really late on. But it doesn't mean that they're bad applicants or anything like that. Far from it. Just trust the process. What I will say is that the sooner you get everything in, and the sooner we can get your application viewable stateside to camps, that is what's really, really important.
I think to some extent, it's like up to you how long like the first half of the application process is going to take. But in terms of actually kind of getting hired by a camp, and a camp looking at your application and thinking, yeah, we're getting them for next summer, it's so dependent on what they're looking for. I would say that certain roles do get hired faster than others. For example, I was very lucky, whereas my first job was a lifeguard. I had a lifeguard qualification, so it happened fairly quickly for me. Yeah, it's really dependent on a lot of factors. What if I don't have any outdoor or adventure skills?
That's okay, everybody's different. We're not expecting every single person to, for example, have Duke of Edinburgh or be some sort of like wilderness expert, right?
Yeah, also, camp isn't all about outdoor adventure. Like it is a lot to do with outdoorsy nature, whatever, but there's like crafty stuff that you do. Like we used to have rock painting. You get some kind of performing art camps sometimes. Like it really depends. It doesn't just need to be outdoor adventure.
But you know what, Robin, sometimes you just might be a really good general all-rounder.
Yeah. And
someone that's passionate about working with kids, passionate about trying to make a difference. And you know what, for me, sometimes that's just as good as what maybe someone that's got one very specific skill set.
Willingness to try new things and just kind of dive head first.
Absolutely. You've got lovely writing, by the way. I'm so glad I can actually read it.
Oh God, I'm not sure about that.
Is there anything I should avoid during the application process? Okay, so there's a few things that I would recommend not doing during the application process. When you're doing your profile picture for your application, what you may think might look great on Instagram might necessarily be what you want on a job application form.
If I'm being completely real with that, if you have a really pouty photo, camps just aren't going to like that. You want to be smiley in photos. Probably not drunk as well. Any photos of you in clubs and stuff would avoid. Just go for the wholesome vibes if I were you.
So if you've got an opportunity to take a picture of you doing a specific activity as well, that always helps. Other things to avoid, especially with the fact that we've got so much AI out there now as well, and Grammarly and stuff. Try not to have any spelling mistakes in your application.
Yeah, agree. But on the other end of that spectrum, I wouldn't use ChatGPT to like write all your stuff for you because it is quite obvious. Avoid being super shy when you're getting interviewed because they need to know that you're going to be fine going to camp with a load of strangers and kind of fending for yourself. And
I've got another one as well.
Yeah.
Is that I understand why you might want to bring your mum, your dad, your grandma, your granddad, maybe your partner to come along with you to, say, for example, a camp fair. But the reality is the summer camp themselves are hiring you.
Anything else to avoid? It's funny, I feel like this is the one we've had most to talk about.
What kind of roles are available at camp beyond being a counsellor?
The one camp that I've been to, you've got your lifeguards, you've got counsellors, you've got your media team, you've got the galley crew and people in the kitchen. Yeah,
no, totally. We look at it in like two ways. You've got your camp counsellors, which can be broken down to all the variety of things you've mentioned there, Robin, except with support staff. It's a slightly different way in terms of how things are set up because support staff are the ones that will work in the office, that work in the kitchens, they'll do maintenance and things like that. So for all the activities we're talking about, for example, arts and crafts, performing arts, teaching sports, etc., or if you're living with the kids, then you are 100% a camp counsellor. But the support staff are very much the ones that help make camp happen, whereas the camp counsellors are the ones that make the camp happen with the kids.
Okay, what do camps look for during the interview process? / how can I make sure my interview goes well?
Well, first and foremost is confidence.
Yeah.
And in the interview itself, it's finding that right balance between being assertive and diplomatic, because of course you want to show how confident you are, but at the same time you don't want to come across as arrogant or anything like that. And also as well, body movement, right? Okay, if you're in an interview, it's like, I want to work in America because I think it'd be a really nice thing to do. That's not going to work. It's like it's eye contact, it's being approachable, it's about being personal.
People just want to know that you're going to be suitable for camp, be able to talk to kids and like manage.
And get on with one another. You've got to be a good team player.
Last one.
Okay. What's the interview process like for getting hired at camp? But from a Camp New York perspective, here's how it works. So you go to campnewyork.org, fill in an application form. Initially, the first bit will take you literally like 2 minutes. It's really basic information, it's your name, your email, your phone number. And then from that, you then give a little bit more information, but the main part is that we get you to an interview. So one of our Camp New York team members, or somebody that's been to camp previously, will then speak to the applicant, and then we'll give you different action points for what you need to do to complete your application before we get it across to the States. And then from that, you'll then hear back from a camp themselves to the point where they may arrange a Zoom call with you, a Google Meet, Teams. Then once you've got that placement and it's all sorted, we then sort out your visa paperwork. And then once we get all of that, you can then book your embassy interview. We help you every single step of the way from this. You go to the embassy, get your visa, you have something really, really cool in your passport. And then once you've done that, make sure your flights are sorted and then sort out your dates. And before you know it, you're in New York or Los Angeles or somewhere in between.
It sounds pretty complicated, but you've always got someone there just basically telling you what to do next. Well, thanks for being in my video. If you like this video, please like it, comment below any other questions you have. Bye!